forget to share my screen back to me.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to About Islam, a terrific online platform that presents mainstream Islam to the world. I am your host, Layla Abdullah Poulos, U.S. correspondent, author, writer, editor, and managing editor of NBA Muslims. This is the third fabulous panel of our Black Muslim Authors Conference. It has just been dope upon dope upon dope upon dope upon dope. Okay. Our conference is a wonderful convening that connects authors and readers with all the dynamic works that Black Muslims are offering to their culture and to the world, which I think is always fabulous. Do not forget to click the link if you haven't to subscribe for conference updates, because then you'll get a nice little email and a reminder that you know what, this is the next terrific panel that's happening and you don't want to miss any of them. I keep on seeing where people are like, darn, I missed it. Is there a recording? Darn, I missed it. Is there a recording? So click that link and get your conference updates. Don't forget to visit our website at www.pathheals.com/blog/NBA Muslims/BMA Con for great information about our conference, and also to check out our authors, our sponsors, and our giveaways. Speaking of sponsors, shout out to all of our terrific sponsors About Islam, the NBA Muslims, Muslim Girl Reads, Every Kind of Lady, the Muslim Anti-Racism Collaborative, Art, Women and Girls, Hod Hijab, African American Muslim Alliance of Tampa, the Muslim Connection, and Daybreak Press. Okay, if you have not already, lift up your mug, Nzima. Okay, do you have your Black on Both Sides mug? That is our dope Black on Both Sides. Okay, she wearing the T too. She's not playing. She's wearing the T too. My son saw that T-shirt when I only got 2 T-shirts so far. I have to order more. And my son picked up the T-shirt. It was like, oh, this must be for me. And he put the T-shirt on. So grab 2. We have T-shirts, mugs. My pouch came in, and my daughter was like, oh, this must be for me. So visit our Teespring store and get a fabulous Black on Both Sides T-shirt. We got mugs and everything like that. All right. Now, tonight is our poet. So hold on. I want to prepare myself for the mood. So I got that. So bought this for all the bars y'all gonna be dropping tonight. Okay, I want to make sure I'm protected tonight. Okay, so poetry. I gotta put my glasses back on because I can't see what I'm reading. Poets play on the rhythm on rhythm like musicians, using words to defend and advocate. Tonight's poets, Nzima Hutchings, Ameerah Shabazz-Bilal, Nadera Nash, Juwayriyah, and Uninvited Maine will discuss their motivations, and they will talk about their processes and narratives when performing or sharing their bodies of work while being Black Muslims, American-born in white, non-Black, and non-Muslim spaces. Wow, that has got to be deepity deep to traverse through that. Our moderator tonight is the fabulous Nzima Hutchings with Every Kind of Lady. Do not forget to check out her anthology that she has, okay? And I'm turning it over to you, Nzima. And I'm going to sit back and enjoy. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam tula.
You're on mute, Nzima. You're on mute, Nzima.
You're on mute.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, welcome. I'm excited. See, I'm already, hyped up. My hands and body, everything is moving before everything. So anyways, I'm just excited. We're going to work this out. We are poets writing while Black, okay? So we're about to light this place up. It's going to be fire. We're going to have fun, a great discussion. Stay tuned because we're going to have some things to chat about our narratives, about our story, about our process. But first, we're going to open up with Uninvited Maine, and we're going to end on a poetic note, and you're going to hear from all the poets on the panel, and I am great. So, but first, I would like to talk about Uninvited Maine. Oh, he is, listen. All right, so this brother man right here is fire. I have nothing but respect for you. I had a chance to listen to your work, and I'm just like, oh, and your videos, like, Uninvited Maine, I'm gonna have to tell you, when I read your bio and you said you spoke for the choice list and the voice list, and then I saw your video, everything was in synchronicity. So Mr. Uninvited Maine is a spoken word poet from East Orange, New Jersey. His diverse background of jazz, hip hop, martial arts, health, and spiritual awareness are displayed in his body of work, y'all. Okay, so whether hosting, teaching, featuring, or producing music, Uninvited, like I said, he is there to speak for the and present to be there for the choice. The what is he put it like this in his exact words: Uninvited to continue to be the choice for the choiceless and the voice for the voiceless. So let's hear it for Uninvited Maine. Let's go.
My Islam is nothing more than Allah's original plan. The evolution of who I am is for those who have been classified and crucified, genetically victims of victims who were forced to listen to lies. Growing up Muslim in a non-Muslim country was an obsession of avoiding hell and ensuring my ticket to heaven. Speaking my mind led most to think I seek spiritual pity, calling me a terrorist. But I didn't bomb Oklahoma City. I did not violently envy those who hold their own financially. I did not kill Princess Diana because I thought her engagement to a Muslim was a travesty. I did not trade you patriotism for pagan visions, criticizing music, labeling its spirit evil and mean. But what do we celebrate when we celebrate Halloween? Proclaiming pimping is living the wrong way. But thanks to Columbus, we celebrate prostitution every time we celebrate Thanksgiving Day. It was a cold summer night when three kings brought baby Jesus gifts and dinner. So why would I celebrate his birthday in December? The calendars of today and yesterday simply don't match up. Isn't it odd they finally put Ramadan on the American calendar after the Twin Towers blew up? May I mention, the invention of religion is big business. Money made off leaders' use as verbal tools, is financial food never given to me and you. Gandhi did his best to end racism for me and you until he was killed by a fellow Indian Hindu. Dr. King, traditional Christian, killed by fictional Christians. Some said he wasn't tough or he wasn't white enough, so they gave him a death sentence and put his soul in handcuffs. Malcolm X, non-traditional Muslim, killed by traditional Muslims, ambushed by his own kind when his lifeline came up missing, because when he was told to speak the truth, he refused to listen. In my opinion, most children should have a decision. You should not always baptize your child without their permission. My Islam is not my condescending constitution, my rehab of a resolution, nor is it my salvation from spiritual prostitution. My Islam is not Arab Muslims coming to America with their racial issues, treating Black Muslims like they're not official. My Islam is not new Muslims fresh out of prison, seeking romantic religious assistance, hoping to get the okay to marry my sister who's 14. Old men looking for fresh meat, lion and a mouse, looking for a slave, not a partner or a spouse. Sex them down, cook and clean, raise the kids, cook and clean the house. My Islam is not Biggie Smalls dying, and I'm 16 years old crying. Older brothers in the masjid teasing the youth. Ha, that fat boy died. Islam teach love and peace, not hate. So teacher, I guess you lied. My Islam is Muslims and Christians, no longer fighting, never divided, finally united by the righteous, uninvited brothers and sisters. Be human, not Hitlers. Listen to your children. When they attempt to make a point, as far as raising my children, I will give them a choice to be pro-religion or to be pro-voice. After reciting these words, I will have Muslims and non-Muslims debating me. Still, my Islam is my life, and you can't take that away from me.
Woo! Listen, that was everything powerful. Like, I don't have no other words about powerful. My brother, oh my gosh, thank you. That was heavy. I really appreciate that rawness, the truths in that piece. Oh my goodness, that was Uninvited Maine, y'all. So we had to open up with fire, and that was fire and power and everything with it. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to jump right in with our panels, and we're gonna hear more from him later on. So he's gonna tell us more about what inspires him, and of course drop another piece for us, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so y'all need to stay tuned for Uninvited May and the rest of our fabulous lineup today. This panelist is hot, and I'm sure with their narratives and what come behind their work is just as powerful. So thank you, Uninvited. So now I would like to welcome our panelists. We have Miss Ameerah Shabazz-Bilal. Come on, wave so people know who you are. And we have our sister Nadera over here. And these fabulous, talented poets have books out there, videos and links, and we're gonna drop that in the chat later on. So stay tuned, pay attention now. All right, so again, thank you all. I am honored to be here and to be a part of this whole Black Muslim Authors Conference 2021. And so let me introduce Amira. Ameerah Shabazz-Bilal is from Central Jersey, is a teacher, author, poet, photographer, illustrator, and visual arts specialist. She is the author and illustrator of the book Breathing Through Concrete. Amira is also the founder and facilitator of two poetic platforms, When Women Speak and When People Speak. Okay, she's just doing her thing. She's just doing her thing. You guys got to tune in. She's on Facebook Live. She bringing fabulous sisters and brothers doing their thing. And oh, can I just say that Uninvited is her nephew? So this is fire already. Okay, all right. She's a featured poet and contributing author in the Every Kind of Lady and Her Sisters Pages anthology and the Revolutionary Anthology of Poems for Black Lives Matter, the 2020 edition, y'all. And let's give it up also. So let's give it up for Amira. She's here. So we have her here, and who else? Now we have Miss Juwayriyah. Oh my goodness! So this sister is one of the organizers that put this whole thing together. Her and Layla. I came towards the tail end midway, but these sisters, they got knee deep and put this fabulous program together. And I think our voice is important to hear. So coming from our voice recorded, this is legacy, digital legacy, and written legacy coming for everybody. Pay attention. So my sister, Miss Juwayriyah, she is an amazing person. I'm so glad I had an opportunity to rub elbows with her. As a Muslim author, she's a Muslim author, a poet. She writes children's books. She just have it going on. Let me see. Juwayriyah, you are an educator, and you just received an award, and I don't have it right here, but if you could unmute your mic and just tell me about that award quickly, the name of that award or that publication, something that was just happened fabulously. You can share it with our viewers.
I'm so tired, but can you refresh my memory?
So you had something that was published, and then you received like this big notoriety on something. I seen it.
So the award was for Hen's Hands. I don't know if you're talking about that one, the Hen's Hands, and the partnership that we just did with Smile Canada for Muslim children and non-Muslim children in Canada who are and their families as well, the advocacy dealing with them and children with exceptional abilities. So, yep, that was the first book written, my book, Hen's Hands, a story about autism. First book written with in the United States with a Muslim family dealing with autism, dealing with a Black family with autism, and it's geared towards children, explaining to them their siblings' situation and how to be a sibling to somebody with exceptional abilities.
Yes, I thank you for that. I didn't have all of that here to explain. I said she can do that better. So thank you so much. And I'm going to continue to introduce in the other panelists. And so thank you. We also have um, Miss Nadera Nash. Hi, Nadera. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? So,
Alhamdulillah.
good, alhamdulillah. We have Nadira. She's a poet and an educator who delved into special science and spirituality. She realized poetry could be used to support healing in herself and others, to mend relationships with people, places, and things which surround us and create our personal worlds. She is the author of Bloom, a poetic personal growth. It is a personal poetic growth book. So, with that being said, sister, we're gonna have to really rub elbows because that's what I do as well. See?
Ah.
Yes. Okay. So again, welcome. Thank you all for being here. And so we're just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna start with Miss Ameerah Shabazz. I have a question for her. And this question was inspired by something I read that I thought was perfect for our panel. And so the fact that our panel is called Poets Writing While Black, I thought this question would just open up the dialogue and point us in a direction. And I'm curious to know. So let me read you something by Ntishaki Shanjay. It was an interview by Ntishaki Shanjay, if I can say her name properly, for all of you guys out there listening. I am so sorry. But anyways, so there was an interview with her and Blackwell. The question that was posed to Ntishaki Shanjay was, did you have a Black audience in mind when you wrote for Colored Girls? Now, I'm not sure if all of you all have had opportunity to watch for Colored Girls. Yes, no. Did you, Ameerah Shabazz?
Of course, several times.
Okay, so here's the question. Again, did you have a Black audience in mind when you wrote for Colored Girls? And Ntishaki Shanjay answer was, it was meant for a women audience initially, and most of my work, I'm talking to women because I'm talking to myself when I write. As for specifically Black audience, I don't like to think like that. I write poems and I take them where I think they need to go. She said, I don't work bar much. She don't bar her work. If I tried to stop a poem because I don't have an audience for it, I'd be a fool. Poetry is like the only privacy in some areas that I have, so I can't jam it up because Black people might not like it. I write the poem because it's there and I take it where I can take it. Maybe I can take it anywhere. She said, some of them, I do what I do. I do it with the idea with people in mind, but I have a right to think and feel what I want, and I can't stop feeling what I feel. Writing for me is a visceral thing. I have to get certain things and ideas out, and if not, I will get sick. And she stays being in a catatonic state. So with that in mind, do you find when you write your poetry pieces that you have to conform for a particular audience, being a Black and being a Muslim?
Well, the beginnings of When Women Speak was for any woman. So, in terms of conforming to a particular ethnicity or race, the answer is no. However, since poems are drawn from experiences and emotions that are personal to me, the majority of the work that I will recite or perform are from the African American experience. Now, this puts a whole nother layer on things when you're in diverse settings. So you are always anxious, you meaning I am always anxious. Will they get the story? Will they understand? It takes up roots within our communities and our people. We get it. We know where I'm coming from. We know what these stories are. We've seen people. We know people. We have people in our family that my poems are about. But the minute that you go into a diverse room, what is it that they're reading out of these poems? And generally, my poems produce a sort of sadness and empathy from the diverse audiences, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they will get every aspect of it, because I'm talking about Black women, Black children, underrepresented, living socioeconomic lives that they probably have not experienced, nor would they know people in that category. So the point of reference is from our community, but I'm hoping that anybody can have a human connection to the stories that I'm telling.
Okay. I appreciate that answer because, you know, like you said, everything's come from your experience. And if you write it from your experience, 9 out of 10 is going to come from your lenses, your what's around you, your culture, you know. So, anybody else would like to chime in on that? I mean, as far as feeling, you know, maybe edited or having to conform based on a particular audience or
Well, I'm afraid that they don't get the stories. I'm afraid that they can't make a connection. But the minute that I try to change, we don't have, it brings a different element to the addressing of the spirit in that poem. So I mean, we want to cross lines. We do. I don't want to be pitted into one area with my work. I want to be a writer, a poet, a personality that exists anywhere.
right.
And part of this work is for women and children of any background. So although we might have a different skin on the exterior, well, why can't we just be human? And why can't we all understand that we have concerns? We have concerns on the human level, and that's what my writing is about.
Okay. And thank you for that. Wow, that's
Welcome.
that was powerful. And now I'm glad you said it because it needed to be said.
Yep.
Miss Unjiria, you like to add?
With poetry, I mean, it's creative art, right? Um, and I think that you have the freedom to write something good that is good to you. And it may be different to other spaces and other people and other culture, but writing is something that has always um, unified people and allowed us to, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He made us into tribes and nations so that we may get to know one another. So this is my nation, this is my tribe. And when I write, I'm writing for their uh, digestion first and foremost. I make no exceptions about that. I'm firmly rooted in my community, in my experiences, and in my faith. And so I'm always, every time I come out the gate, I'm always ready to represent that. And I think that we have space. And if they don't want to give you space, then you make your space. You open the window, you crack the door, you go through the basement, and you put yourself there. You firmly align yourself, and you speak your talk. You say that you say what you have to say, and also not um, recognizing that so many people came before us, right? The Langston Hughes, the Zora Neale Hurstons, the James Baldwins, who also had to, elbow room their way into places. And so why don't you think you have to do the same as well? So just take your space and be proud of that.
Take your space. I love that. Take your space. I own where I stand. I belong where I stand. And to bring me, like I can only bring me. And and like you said, it's like when you think of music, it's like a thread, something that connects people. And either you're gonna roll with it or roll, roll out. So okay, great. So I guess the next question would be, this is a question for everybody. This question is, what inspires your poetry? I know different poems inspire different things. You have different muses, but what is probably the most dominant thing that inspires your poetry? And you all have about 2 minutes to answer this piece. So anyone want to go first? Popcorn.
Let the brother go first.
Okay, Uninvited. Unmute your mic.
Okay. Well, I'll have to say first, my number one inspiration is always life experiences. And then when I want to really be creative, I'll use perspectives. So perspectives of how the world sees this, and then I'll put my perspective on it. And then I'll use the poetic devices of haiku, acrostic poetry, sonnets, ballads, verse, stanzas, things like that. That's when I just come with perspective. I'm more of a free writer when it comes to just life experiences. But my number one inspiration is always life experiences.
Nice. And you know what? I'm going to come back to you when you talked about poetry form on that, because I do have a question about that. So we're going to expand on that. Next, let me see. Anybody else? How about you? Where I don't see it. Where you at, Nadera? How about you? Where's like the dominant place that your poetry come from? Like, no? Okay. Let me see. Okay, so how about you, Amira, Sister Amira?
Okay, yeah. The predominant place that my poetry comes from, it started deep in the crevices of the heart, then connected to so many different souls of little people, and little people who live through hardships and live lives that adults have not seen. So the inspiration and the beginnings were to tell the stories of these children one by one, and have the world connect to, there's a group of marginalized individuals that we need to pay attention to. It's not your child, it's not his child, they're our children. So these stories come from the heart, they come from the gut, they come from the emotion, and they come from the pain of children having to bear things that no one should have to, but yet they're strong and they're resilient and they make it. And that's the end result of these narratives. I guess it's narratives or free verse poems that I write. They're the majority of them are about children and how they see the world through pain.
Now, with that being said, Sister Amira, I would like to say that I happen to know that you publish about like 300 and some children.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that. Like, that's a lot of kids that's a written legacy that they can look forward to, always holding on. 300 something. Can we do that? Can we
can
talk about that?
We can. So I was in a school where I was seeing multiple classes. And so they always talk about how kids, you can't get them to read, they can't get them to write, they're not motivated. And it's because of our approach to the youth. They are young, but yet they have something to say as well. And they're very inundated by what's on television. So when I first brought forth the idea of let's have a poetry group, they wanted to write about love. Now, how the heck do you know about love and you like 10? So we first introduced them to like cultural poems and poems that were famous. I'm losing my words right now, but the point is they had to learn about these poems that people like Langston Hughes, Zora Hurston, so forth and so on wrote. They had to recite them, sort of like the poetry out loud thing. And then once they understood that poetry was much more than the roses are red thing, they were given templates and ideas to write from to produce their very own original works. So once they had the original works, each student got a page in an anthology, a page where they could write their short story or their poem, and then also add an illustration. So this is how it birthed with my poetry group. And then I said, this is really powerful. Let's go to the classrooms. I asked the teachers to get involved, give me their students, just write the poems on the paper and I'll put it in a book. So that birthed into 300 kids being published, not only published, but actually performing their works on a live stage. So it was a beautiful experience.
Wow. Okay, I mean, that right there, that is a blessing. That is that I would love to get an opportunity to read some of the pieces. I happen to have your book, so I know your passion for getting their voices and their narratives out,
Yeah.
And so, yeah. How about you, Nadera? So the question was, what inspired your poetry? Like, where is a dominant place? Like, what is your central, muse? Like, bring the pen to paper where you like, I got to get it out. So you're on mute, sis. That's going to be the theme tonight. You're on mute because that's.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, and I love your rap. Beautiful.
Oh,
How we
thank
doing?
you. Thank you. So I deal a lot with mental health issues. My dad was a therapist, and so I was exposed at a very young age to mental health, and I tend to gravitate towards self-help. So my book, Bloom, is a poetry book, but it's also a self-help book. And in the book, there are pages where you can fill out certain answers to questions, which correlate with the poem.
So some internal reflections and some writing prompts and journals.
Self-reflective poems.
Yeah. So we having a little difficulty of hearing you. I would like to come back because I'm sure that you have pop in and pop out because you talking up my lane, my lady. And I would love for everybody to hear, as a healing artist, someone that's, we like to hear you. So I'm gonna ask, okay, so we did Uninvited. I didn't ask you this question yet and got all right, bear with me. Can you tell me your central inspiration for where your poetry come from?
Well, okay, I'm on, right? Okay.
Yep.
Life experiences, also perspectives of everyone in the world. And then I put my perspective spin on it as well. And also my influences. So like, as far as like people I actually met, was not my number one influence was my mother. So reading her poetry book, like she did like a chapbook, which is more like an unpublished poetry book back in the late 80s, reading her poetry book. And then just looking at my mother, if she's able to do it, then one day I'm able to do it, And then I recently found out that my mother's grandmother, my great grandmother, was a published poet in Fayetteville, North Carolina in like the 1940s or 30s.
What? This is a family affair. We have a family affair, y'all. Poets. I'm telling you that is wonderful. Because see, we understand our history and the fact that, many years ago when folks wasn't able to freely, read and write and, do things and to not only write, but to write in an artistic fashion, a poetic fashion, and to know that and to have privilege, that information, to be a part of that, that is inspirational. You know, I know the things that inspire me to write is always, I describe it like a wire, exposed wire. As soon as something inflamed me, I'm like, just taking it to the pen, you know. I'm taking it to the pen. It's better than I take it to the pen, you know. But it's wonderful. So I have another question for, let me see. So that was interesting because everybody had different central places where poetry come from. And I want to say that, you know, some people, they get into, and I think Amira said this earlier, and you have some adults that think that you have to rhyme, your poetry, you have to sound like roses are red, da 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 da. You know, it's nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with rhyming and things like that, but we have so many different forms, you know, and so many different places where things come from, where the poetry come from. And because of that, if we get into trying to make everything rhyme, sometimes we lose the story and that technique, you know, rather than just let it flow, you know. So, all right. So I would like to, let's see. We have this question here is, I'm going to ask you this question, Amira. This is a two-part question.
Okay.
As an author and a poet and an educator, do you think it is important to know how to write formal poetry? And I would like to address that to actually, I want all of you guys to participate because I'm looking at educators and advocates. That's what I see. So as authors, advocates, poets, educators, do you think it's important to know how to write formal poetry forms like tankas, haikus, sonnet, elegies, acrostics, so forth and so on? Some may regard it as using formal poetry as being a Eurocentric or Asian thing or outdated thing because of its roots. What are your thoughts?
So the question goes to me?
Yeah, the question go to you, and then anybody that wanna jump in.
So I'm thinking that you are able to learn as much as you can learn. And yes, I do think you should know classical forms. I do think that you should be able to move in and out of arenas. I don't think that you should be cockled into one area, but you should have knowledge of it all. And then you decide where your space is and what you like, and maybe even use some of those other forms in what you're doing on an everyday basis, because after all, poetry is creative. You don't have to stick in one area. You can do as many things as you want to do, and you can use as many styles as you want to use. But if you're not aware of them, if you're not knowing about them, whether they're African-centric or whether they're European-centric, it doesn't matter. Knowledge is knowledge, and knowledge is power.
Yes, especially applied. Woo! Okay, y'all saw that. Okay, so all right. Now, anybody else want to pop in on that question? Because I know that people have different, you know, perspectives on that. Because a lot of times you can roll up in a place and feel uninvited. Because
that's where the name came from.
Yes. Can I? Yeah. So I don't know if you sisters know Sister Halima. She was an elder sister. She just passed away about 2 years ago.
Okay.
But she joined the community, and like, she's from like Colorado and everything. But when I think she came over here in the late 80s, or the mid 80s. And when she joined the community, she would do a lot of tankas, haiku. But what she would do a whole entire poem, and no one would know that it was a whole entire poem made out of haiku. And it was the coolest thing, you know what I mean? Because everyone at that time in 2006, 2007, they were talking about politics, George Bush, things of that nature, or whatever they saw on Def Poetry Jam. So to see an elder Muslim sister in the community using all these poetry devices, it made a lot of the younger poets, or the young people, period, go into poetic devices. Because we because that's what usually where we learn in school, elementary, middle, high school, even in college. So when we also become an established poet, we want to get away from that. But then I came back to that. And then haiku is my favorite poetry device besides free verse and acrostic. Acrostic, that's like the alphabet style.
Yes.
And also love sonnets too. But haiku is like, it's so, haiku, okay, they say free verse is fluid, but haiku is very fluid for me.
Okay.
And I know that we say like, oh, it came from over here, but I have issues with that because I feel like we came from over there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like we taught the martial arts in Japan, right? The first martial artist was from Angola, and then he went to Japan, and the person from Japan went to China and everywhere else, and they taught the original Kung Fu. Then we also taught them haiku. And also with the so-called European style of poetry. That's really our style of poetry. It's just like with everything else. I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything, but
that's why we here, because we poets write around Black, and we have to tell the truth somewhere. Yes. We have to start. We have to educate.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I feel like we have started everything everywhere. So I do understand that sometimes we just want to, especially in the white spoken word section, some of us, we may feel like super self-conscious if we want to do a poem about Sandra Bland. And a lot of the white poets, they have like a sad face, or we don't want to do that all the time. We may feel more comfortable doing that in a Black setting, African-American setting, in a female setting, in that type of environment. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we have to just, I don't believe in that. I believe that you should be who you are in every single type of setting, except for when it comes to children. I do believe in censorship if children are there.
Right.
I have 5 children. I don't believe in just being totally free. You know what I mean? You have to censor if just children right in front of in the crowd or on this panel. You understand? That's a whole different thing.
Yes. I tend to, when you say about children, I think about children. Also, I think of like, if a person is like probably, I don't know, they late 70s or 80s, if I'm sitting there with, folks who I'm like, I got this extra respect for, I'm like, I might not come out as bold as I want to be. I'm like, cause that's grandma right there, and I don't want to be, like I'm not about. There are certain things I just don't participate. But no, yes, I understand that feeling of feeling like, oh, am I walking in here with baggage or my story, or feeling like a victim, or feeling like I'm about to try to make you like do an Oprah thing, make you cry, or and that's how I'm not doing that. It's just like either you want it or you're not, but you do feel that you do feel like, and then you go somewhere and someone is doing poems about cats and sunshines and rainbows, and you like, oh, you kind of figure out, I don't know if I want to read this piece now. I think you start adapting to what piece you want to read because of that, right? Sometimes, but I like that. That was truth. And everybody, I hope that we are sharing this. I hope people in the Facebook world that you guys are listening to that. Did you just hear what he just said? We have to understand where things come from, just like in math, astrology. We have to know that. And how about you, sister? So Nadera, so we're talking about poetry forms and conforming and just sharing from a place of truth, or feeling a sense of censorship, or using different, well, if poetry seemed to be a Eurocentric thing when you're using form, or Asian thing, what is your take on it?
I think I said when I walk into a room with my hair wrapped the way it is, folks kind of expect certain
things from me anyway, so I might as well go ahead and get it. So I tend not to censor myself because this year what I have come to say. So is the poem that I have chosen concerning some issues that may make other people feel uncomfortable. Sometimes that's necessary. I don't think that people come into the room and have things to say that may make us feel uncomfortable, that they change their, uh, they change whatever they're getting. So since that, I think sometimes the room needs to be a little
Right.
educated.
I'm gonna need you to speak like louder or come closer to your microphone.
Okay. Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that whatever we're there to talk about, whatever our piece is about, we give it to. We don't know in the audience that might educate about something that they need to be educated. So I say we just go into our thing. Let's just fall where they met.
Okay. How about you? Thank you. Thank you, Nadira. How about you, Juwayriyah?
I'll probably take a little exit from what has been said so far. I'm a licensed 6 through 12 educator. And at that level, when you're dealing with the youth, young adults and youth, at that, a lot of times they haven't been affirmed in their writing, in their creativity. They've gone through years and years and years of people telling them that education is this and that you can only do that with education, that writing is this and that writing can only be good when it conforms to this. And so when I get them into my classroom, it is my job to affirm them. And what affirms them is their community. What affirms them is their experiences. Whatever is your joy, I want you to be able to write that fully without any barriers, without any weight or oppression or any sort of references to what should be. And what should be, what is taught, in our schools, which is systematically racist, oppressive, is that, Eurocentric writing is the only way to be creative. And so I have to chip that away. They'll come into the classroom already saying, I'm not a good writer. I don't know how to do it like that. So then don't do it like that. Do it how you want to do it. Yes. Put the words on the paper how you want to say it. You want to use African American vernacular. You want to use Spanglish. You want to use Arablish. Whatever you got, write it down and say it how you want it to say, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it in you to say it. Say it how you mean it. Talk it like you like it. Talk that talk. Walk that walk. Be who you want to be. And then it will come down. We don't have to play around with it.
No, don't
understand? We don't have to play around with it, because when you play around with it, really what that is saying with them is that I'm inferior. And that's why people fear writing on every level, So I want to take that away, especially like for my kids, especially because, like I said, the older kids, if you're dealing with, kindergartners and the babies and stuff, wonderful. But generally, once they get to middle school, high school, somebody has already chopped them down, especially our kids. You understand? And so, you didn't do it the Shakespearean way. You don't got to do it the Shakespearean way.
We don't care about his sonnets.
You understand? And so, because you have time. Like she said, knowledge is power. But what I say to people is that, you know, until you have knowledge of self, right? Until you feel good about yourself, about who you are, about your culture, about your ancestors, about what they do. And so we know in Africa, that's subhanAllah, they were poets, they were writers, they were storytellers. That is already in us. Whether you are in Cuba or in Brazil, in Haiti or in Jamaica or Nigeria or Sudan or East Orange or Compton or Philadelphia, you got it in you by design.
But yes.
And so I just want them to feel that. I want them to feel that. Yes, you can learn. You can learn at any time. You never stop learning. But if all you have is Polo G, go on and write that talk.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. You know,
that's right.
That is important. Oh, say that. Where you at? Somebody want to comment on what she said?
I totally agree. I totally agree. Wherever you are, that's where you start. We don't have to make our children feel as if they are unprepared, because what they need to say in the way they need to say it will get them to whatever point they need to be at. They, as the sister said, we have too many of our children already feeling as though they are ill prepared for life. And so to make them feel as though where they are coming from is also somehow inferior is harmful to their psyches. So let them be where they are, let them start where they are. I totally agree.
Yes, that's the truth. Because you know what? There are some people who, as adults, we feel closed and shut out the game. You know, you walk and you feel like, well, wow, I don't know form, or I don't know if I want to speak or share or do anything. You know, I tell people, look, it's about to be in circles, y'all. About to hear. And sometimes that just a vibe when you walk into a place tell you already, bye, get out, shut the door. And then sometimes folks do it to ourselves because we are I hate to say it, but we become overseers to our own and real hard on our own. And we would say, oh, because we have like, you know, we like it's tribal. Oh, if you don't know how to do this, you're gonna represent me, and everybody gonna think that you represent me. And so now I'm gonna beat you down to make sure that you get so and so, rather than to drop the knowledge that Uninvited said, to have the open and welcoming door that Juwayriyah provides in her class, or like how you said what you've done for the kids, Amira, by bringing 300 plus babies' voices to print to be published. And Miss and Nadera, like you said, this mental illness that we have, you know, some of it is not mental. Some of it is that, but some of it is that environment shut down. It just shut you up, and we don't need to be shutting people up. I feel as though, you know, there are some things that just can't fit in stuck in a box. Now, Uninvited, you said your favorite was rolling out those haikus. Mine's is Tonka, because I get 2 extra lines, you know. You know, I like the fact that it's 57577. I memorized that, right? Because I was like, I have a little extra 1 or 2 more syllables I need. I just need that extra word, you know. But Sonia Sanchez does a wonderful job of telling stories in the haikus. Like you said, the sister who passed away was telling stories in the haiku form, a bunch of haikus going down like that. But it is so important that we open up those doors. You guys, how about you, Amira? Did you want to expand on that before I switch out to the next question?
Oh, the only thing that I wanted to add to everything that everybody said, they're all beautiful tactics, and they all do work within our community, and we know how to deal with our babies. I think that the most important thing is that we give them that paper and that pen, and let them expose whatever it is they want to expose on that paper and write their own world, whatever that may be, and encourage them. I found through this writing process and having the kids actually publish was the best motivator I could ever introduce to the environment. The kids actually wanted to come and write. They wanted to come and read. They wanted to be a part of it. And there were children that even had difficulties in reading and writing. But guess what? They produced a poem and they never forgot that moment. So these are the things, whether we venture into the classics or whether we just take it from wherever it is, knowledge is still power. Empowering our kids, that's what we're here for. And making sure that those broken nuggets become whole, become whole. That's our charge.
That is our charge. I like that. I look, pray on that, y'all. Do I? So I hope a lot of folks that's out there listening understand that. And with that being said, because we have folks who are for me, I like to play with cadence so much and riff and do different things that, certain things just it feel like a challenge when someone box me in. I'm every kind of lady all over the place. I'm all over the place. So, so the next question was, let me see. Now, well, actually, I have a takeaway just in case you guys haven't heard. I have a takeaway. So my takeaway was, and I searched this a little while ago because I was curious, and I wish that Uninvited was here earlier to school me to say, sister, this come from here. And, if I would have thought about it, I would have already known that. If I would have said, yeah, we've put together all of that stuff. So the takeaway and this research that I did was to look for African form or African American form of poetry, because you'll say, oh, that's Japanese, or this is that, and this is that. So I specifically went to look up a form, so this form, and I'm gonna botch up the name because Google don't always tell you how to say things properly. So I'll just say E2. Okay, so that's supposed to be African. It is an African form, E2, and it's spelled EINTOU. Okay, so I find the philosophy behind this form so dope, so nice. It is built on a philosophy that from everything go back to from which it returns, from which it originates from. And I think about how we say that, in different times, in different seasons of our lives, or at the end of our lives, or someone passed, or whatever, that, it's like a circular poem. And the form, when you write the poem, you start from one end and you circle back to where you came from. We say from Allah we come, from Allah we return. So it's the E2 poem, EINTOU. Okay, so I just wanted to have you guys heard of that? Anybody?
No, I haven't.
I haven't heard of it, but I know I certainly do it.
I'll do it. I'll look it
up. Yes, and it's look that up, y'all. I'm telling you guys, look it up, and it'll give you the structure on how to do it and everything. So let me tell you about that. Like I said, it is spelled EINTOU. It is from the West African language, meaning pearl. The inventor name is E2 Pearl Springer. She is a poet, playwright, activist, and she was named a poet laureate May of 2002 in Port of Spain. Like I said, the philosophy behind all that was as described from, the full circular thing. So I thought that was really cool. So that's my little nugget, my little takeaway. And so we've been chatting it up a lot. I have another question or two later, but I would like to pull up a video because I know that this video It wasn't everything, and the flow of it just couldn't pause on couplets and things, and it had to flow freely and uninhibited. And it's a video of Mr. Uninvited Maine, if you don't mind. So this video, Invisible Man.
Yes, Invisible Man.
Yeah, Invisible Man. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can pull that up. So everybody who's tuned in, and for give me a second.
All right.
Because I am going to share. Now watch me work this technology, y'all. I don't know. I might have to see if I can get help on it. Hold on. Tell me what you all can see now.
No,
Not yet.
nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Okay. It's there.
Do you see the video?
I'm with Google now.
Hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can plug it in here again.
Okay.
Y'all can see the video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And look at me, y'all, in the world. I want y'all to keep this record that I've done. I've done it right. Okay, hold on. What's happening? How come I'm not? Okay, that started from here.
Uneducate us, so our miseducation can be replaced with proper information. Where we miseducation in a generation, rejected from birth, so we generations expecting the curse of a verse, failing to defeat principles of unique men. Eating third eye daily bread, so principles treat individuals like criminals who need special ed. How special is special education if I'm treated like my brain is designated for permanent vacated hiatus? How dare you call this education? Using interslavement to persuade us, sellouts to infiltrate us, vices medicated to intoxicate us. That's how the hiatus. Racism, educated by the race in him, promoting scapegoats for killing, drug dealing and thieving. Before repeating what you're reading, research what you believe in. Africans didn't steal Africa, so who let the thief in? Demonic deceive and prove to us. Every nation simulated its own Judas. Who knew he chose us to be the first humans in Eden? Devil delivered takeout, we should have decided to eat in. Conscious kitchens, awaken nightmares, camouflage as American dreaming, scheming. Opportunities to make welfare, inaccurately accusing blacks of milking up government help here when whites are the ones using most of the welfare of Haiti means Hades, who have brought thy hell here. My majesty, same kingdom teaching. Haitians defeated the French magically. What most see as supernatural, I see as a gift, mathematically equated to the original more. Add, created, subtract, invaded. Once equated, what we created is more than a little that's known of ancestral codes. Left to decode holes in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Used to breathe soul back into the heads of the walking dead until the Dead Sea Scrolls. Until we behead clones, reducing genius of what our genes is. Socially, turning giants into insects. Fell in the orphan royalty. We keep in the family. Historically incest while you keep it in the family. Through incest when your precious daughter is insects. Begging for mercy. Father refusing to insects. Birthing, mind raping nuisance. As of nuisance, theory of gravity is nuisance. Discrediting irrelevant Anubis. Relative, unintelligent. Crediting lack of love in hip hop like it's relative or fair. To show one black exposed paying fair for horsehair and collagen, but not show black exposed teaching knowledge without bringing college in. A life with men who bleach shades of their skin away, never dealing with healing years of pain of being targets of name calling like tar baby, as if the sunburned skin surrounded my large lips. More time spent in the sun, stronger my targets. This asking questions is a crime to Congress. Arrest me for questioning nonsense reasons for unsolved history when ministers' memory mysteriously gets cancer. If truth was a museum, these pastors by exhibits of answers, but paused by statues of Prancer, implying fables is not where deceit lives, but where peace is. Any man not refusing to be used in lands of confusion knows not what peace is. So facetious, how you love thy neighbor, yet advice is life can only be saved by saviors. Since you lack heart to save yours, if that's your advice to combat danger, save yours. And every excuse why glory is past as a whole is not drilled to fill the hole in history class. Hang our men, rape our women, rewrite our past. How many times will you tell us we were slaves before we have the interest to ask about the sinister wrath of 400 years that has been suggesting we let go so we can manage trust. I won't get over anything that hovers over everything that has been taken advantage of. The damage of what a racist planet does to the intellect, disconnecting with the disrespect the skin you're in. As you defend your end, pissed out from Europeans, slurping our culture using inner cities as capitalistic, tall as the peon, nasty heathens, still not washing hands in bathrooms after secreting feces from eating fruits of labor they did not earn. Evident forensic evidence lost and burned once they hit our urn in clouds of ignorance. When it rains and storms, it's a brains with significance. Rains no more in minds, feeling less human, much more Negro. Day we live on our feet, it's the day we feel our left and right Negro. To stand upon body enhancement sold as a manicure. If you weren't a fan of your man's glands before, what makes you think penal implants gives your man a cure from a disease? Making men surgically arch their eyebrows, failing to duplicate beauty found in loyal hearts. If you let your eyebrows and kind words not seen as a con's words, a confused to con you to bring more than a kind few to a country we never wanted to see, to be told to go back to a country we never wanted to leave. Now who's confused of convicting ex-convicts, coughing up bloody contusions after shooting black youth equipped with skills to fight? A premeditated melanated coffin built a day. Lady Liberty wrote the Bill of Rights to dim light on mistakes that mistakes are genocidal. Weather forecasting whether it's sunny with a chance of black self-hatred or a holocaust of hurricanes like nobody's. Other countries' massacres never left no bodies of black mummies used to test dummies. Hitler hated natives more than his own, so who do you think were the test dummies? For owners of heirs running from bad intentions, consequences of what your sins say about Bruce Lee being murdered for revealing secrets of his forefathers' African sensei who educated Mr. Miyagi after graduating students who formed Illuminati, possessing bodies involved in scandals at a Watergate hotel, toying with Tyson and Tupac TikTok as sexy televised decoys so the world can watch a hotel. How consensual relations end as potential rape of truth when the dumbfounded Pope states religious crusades were not intentional hate, even though it left the race of the dumbfounded unable to cope with unused space in heads proves at times our minds are waste when living the way we don't mind the waste we live in a home where hope is missing. Why write petitions to end injustice if we still believe we live in justice? Black inferiority, white superiority, two pair of lies used as two chains to keep the mind and body paralyzed. Tackling receivers thrown a Hail Mary, purposely dropping the ball knowing they're not supposed to Hail Mary. She had too much stage fright, she could never be the playwright. God wrote the story of yesterday, tomorrow, and today's life, but you want to tell him he didn't write the play right. While you play nights of hide and seek with Satan, shocked that he possessed your body once you say 10. Not using your amen to remind you he hates men whose offspring slam doors to hell so hard wood falls offsprings of chains that Lincoln blood spilled when hope of real freedom was killed when Lincoln spread lies like Black Jack Dawson sending his family in lifeboats as he stopped the Titanic from leaking. Since Hollywood speaks to the dead brain, dead lungs, dead eyes, and dead air, why would they cater to truth that's greater and share a breath of fresh air to inhale that will no longer make us feel that we're in hell? To believe the most important conspiracy theory is to believe every conspiracy is a conspiracy theory. Uneducate us.
I think it's muted. It's muted.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Shukran for playing it.
Oh, man, brother. Look, and wait, hold up. And then that bookstore, I'm like, I need to go there too. That was everything. That was everything. The aesthetics, everything. That was so beneficial. I really, oh my goodness. Come on, y'all. Give it up for Uninvited Maine. Thank you, brother. That was talent right there. Thank you for audio, video, visual, publishing, do whatever. I'm lost for words, tongue-tied. So anyway, woo! So this is the time. So we done chat back and forth, and I was going to go into the white gaze and everything. And I think we kind of talked about that a little bit already in the questions, you know, but that piece right there just says there's just no room for self-editing on you know, censoring your raw, your truths, your all, your everything. That was, man, I'm waiting. Uninvited, you have a book coming out?
Yes, my first book.
Yes, April. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. It's you're gonna need a classroom to be teaching that in.
All right.
You're gonna need to be somebody guest. We have all of these educators up in this on this panel. Y'all gonna have to invite him, do a virtual Zoom, pull him up, do something, because you just don't get that kind of education every day, you know. That's coming from y'all, I know. So, but anyways. Let me calm myself down. That was a treat. Thank you. I hope everybody that was out there listening understand that it is so many different ways to express your art, your talent, visual, written, however we do it. But do that. Don't have no bars. Like Etishaki Shanje, she just have to do it. You have to put it out there. So now we have our artists. We have.
I'm sorry to disturb you. Can you please return the hosting back to Nicola?
Yes, I sure can. Let's see. 1 second. So we are about to have our panelists share a piece of their work, and I'm excited because, see, we done talk poetry. Now we're about to spill some poetry, and this is amazing lineup. I'm going to go first to share a piece that's coming from 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to multitask and I'm messing it up. Okay. Okay. Um, okay, so I was going to go first, so because I was gonna hide behind y'all magnificent. I was gonna warm up the mic because typically when you have a feature, you have a feature at the end and the open mic, but um, you know, and I wanted to talk about a little piece. The reason why it was a segue piece, but I have right now. I'm going to have. Let's hear it. Let's hear from Nadera Nash. She has written a poetry book, a healing book. The title is called Bloom.
Yes.
And so if you can share a little bit about your book, and then wrap it up. Tell us a little bit about it and share one poem with us. I'll shut up.
Okay, so the book is Bloom, and it is a poetry self-help book. So I'm also an educator, and I felt that it would be fantastic if you could read the poetry, since much of the poetry has a self-help tinge to it, and somehow leave reading the book a little better than when you started. And so each poem has a journal writing exercise that you can participate in. And it moves from the beginning of the book. The first poem is a poem where a man, is speaking to a woman in a loving way. And the book ends with a poem where the woman is now speaking to the man in a loving way. So the entire book is like a journey from one situation to the next. And it begins and ends with love from one to another. So the poem I'm going to share now is the last poem. It's entitled Black Brother. And here we go. Black Brother. The fact of the matter is, according to this author, there's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. Whether 5'2" or 6'7", honey fabulous or chocolate heaven, there's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. Long and lean with deep brown eyes, wavy hair or locks, with strong arms emphasized. There's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. Black brothers are extraordinary. Black brothers are sensational. Black brothers are remarkable. Black brothers are kings. Black brothers are incomparable. Black brothers are necessary, and Black brothers are phenomenal. Bald head with goatee, cornrows, or fade. A little thick, a little thin. Oh, the choices to be made. There's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. Scholarly or not, Wall Street or hip hop, I'll sing your praises to the mountaintop. Head of the home, provider and love, obedient son and helpful father. There's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. A mighty provider you've proven to be, sacrificing your life to keep me free. Sometimes working for crumbs when the table is bare. Praising the Creator, leading the family in prayer. There's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. Strong and moral by nature, kind, respectable, and merciful. You are a king and I'm hooked. Your royalty is in righteousness. Your throne will never be overlooked. Holding my hand when fear emerges, remaining faithful, suppressing your urges, providing your strength. You're the reason for my smiles. You're the shoulder for me to cry. There's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. I love you. I respect you. I cherish you. Be you, because even if others don't see you, I see you. Some brothers need a hug, I'll admit. I salute you. Your efforts are appreciated, and I will love you until you believe. I will encourage you. I will support you. I will have your back always and forever, because there's nothing more beautiful than a Black brother. Thank you.
Wow.
Alhamdulillah, it was real beautiful.
So that's the ending piece of the book. Do I have time for another or no?
I think you're muted.
I'm going to get it together. I'm going to get it together
Okay.
at the last bit of the hour. Yes, let me see. We'll come back around. We'll let everybody go
Okay,
around.
come back
We'll see
around.
what
Okay,
happens.
come back
Okay.
around.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. Let me see. Sister Unjiria, would you like to go next?
Absolutely, no problem. Inshallah. Bismillah. Always start in the name of the Most High. You know, he has done so much for us. This one is called Native Rhythm. And I don't think I've ever done this one publicly at all. It's just been in my book, collecting dust. So, the drumbeat sounds of yesteryears and yester hopes, of folks who walked and ran and banded together, stormed the weather and prayed on plains and played in the rain and danced for the sun, so that their babies grow up and be protectors of the earth and protectors of each other. Goodwill and good skill breeds peace. That's PEACE, not PIECE, for there is no peace left to give. Land rotten and spoiled by greed and grime and stolen over time. How many lies will you continue to sell? And then they talk about El Israel, and they talk about As Sudan and El Afghanistan and all the desert lands, but they never look us in our eyes. They never see the chains and the whips and the cannons that rip, red skin that burn black and blue, merged together over wild buffalo meat that was fried and ate with honey sweetened cornbread. They front like soul food is just African, but never native. The Seminoles, the Creeks, the Cherokees, they held those secrets while they prayed in the wind next to men who faced the east and still had the sweet scent of camel meat on their tongues. Now we all have been reduced to the villains and the thugs and the scums, pinned up in ghettos and locked down on reservations and locked out of education, except for what our elders passed down and kissed into our hearts. We have to believe in truth, but nighttime is scary. The smoke signals warn of troubles to come, but we toughen our sons and try to hide our daughters and sons from 20-year destinies that have them locked away in penitentiaries for being too wild and too loud and too strong and too native. It has always been a crime. But can I reverse my bloodline and strip my spirit from the drum beats that pumps my heart? There's no honor in dishonor, and there's no triumph without a good long run. So we must run, and we must dance, and we must continue to beat the drum for every Native son and daughter who feels the rhythm of their ancestors.
Yes. Wow. That piece. Why is it hiding in your book?
Teaching.
It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out in our next book. That's what it's gonna do. It's gonna oh my, thank you for that. Can I just say thank you? Shukran. Beautiful. I love it, you know. So you want to tell me a little bit about it? You know,
You know, I even though I'm reading intervention teacher, sometimes they have me go into the history class or social studies class and have, sub and work this, somebody don't show up for their job. So I'm in there and, we're talking about the history of the natives and we're making parallels and we're talking about the gist. What's the gist? What's the connection? How can we connect to the text that we're reading about and the struggles of our Native brothers and sisters, these indigenous people, and making the reference and really sharing with them that we're indigenous as well. Similar stories, different times, different people, but same situations, right? So we have to learn from all sorts of people, or again, we're going to repeat history. See yourself in other people and their struggles.
Yes, that is important. And empathy is all of that. We need all of that. That is important, powerful. Thank you for sharing that, sister. I love it. I love it. And when maybe we'll have a situation where you and your daughter one of these days will come one of these conferences virtually now and sing for us. So, all right, thank you. And we have Sister Ameerah Shabazz-Bilal. I don't know why I like to say your whole name. I'm always like Ameerah Shabazz-Bilal.
You think you're still in school? Gotta call people by their last name, get their attention. Jamie Williams.
Yes.
Wow. First of all, Juwayriyah, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful piece. I was all in it. Thank you for sharing that. It was beautiful. Sister Nzima, you asked us to read out of the book, so I'm going to do one of the two pieces that are in Every Kind of Lady.
If you want to, because you do have your breathing out of concrete.
Yeah,
so
but yeah, I'm gonna do one out.
All right now.
Like I was speaking to you guys earlier, most of the poems are from lives of people. This one is a little bit more on the slant of a mother. I'll let you see it. I'll let you experience it. So Bismillah. The title of this poem is A Mother's Plea. He disappeared somewhere in time, lost to memories, beating down my heart. Can't you hear them? Beat, beat, beat. They keep rhythm with the heat of my fury burned inside. When I think, when I feel, when I know, you saw it happen and said nothing. He is not saved from translucency, marginal, dissipating heart murmurs that will mean nothing once the balloons deflate and the ribbon banners shred and fly dirty across skies and lands like Bergen Street, Hawthorne Ave, Elizabeth Ave, and the islands of faith, hope, and tears, like places explored and conquered, floating and stopping life for passers-by, souls bound to meet breaths themselves as they tatter and tear with each day passing, rubbing like erasers and grabbing you from hearts and minds of everyone except mine. I simply will love you forever. And this is longer than any memory. Through salted tears which leave me dehydrated from life and death of the unlived, through the guilt I know I bear, knowing not if I could have saved you. Yes, I could have pulled back on your coattails as you were plunged and pulled and answered the call of the night howls of corners, which soon will be masqueraded and decorated shrines, which invite others to join them. We allow hanging candles of homies and mamas and friends, which act like lighted tombs for the souls they grabbed and imprisoned, with tears and sadness and sneakers now soulless, void of people. I see shadows casted void of men, just shadows left behind, but we stare through cracks in our faces, which match the cracks on the grounds, bruised with liquid, some salty and clouded, others red and thick. Both are tears though. They will attend your funeral and wear white or red or blue colors. They will blend in like knotted lint balls on sweaters, hidden until seen by the flicker of a black light that will expose them. to the night and burn them like the reality they make barren mothers feel, and scream out into the night for sons lost, and hate will scream for freedom and revenge. They hold hands of bloodlines like it's love and family, kissing foreheads and rubbing tears tattooed on cheeks just before eyes slanted soon to shut. They shut. But not limited to just being blood, destined minds as they return to dust and dirt, stained with life and water with mother's tears, wishing and praying for more time, screaming, praying for no more of this, leaving only short thoughts of how you used to do and how you would be, and all wearing white tees in solidarity, except mom. Her color is black, and her initiation into her clan, her hazing be pain forever. But I can tell you though, I can tell you, even if your earthly life was pure, hell is a place. Barren, sunless mothers live there, wishing the souls of sneakers on power lines, dripping and watering the concrete below, and knowing and wishing you knew our realities too. Not all boys go to heaven. Some lie on streets waiting for words to speak and hands and feet to stomp out lunacy, the thinking, the woke, the knowing. All boys deserve life, and mothers plea, give us free.
Ooh, my. Oh my goodness. That
Maker.
that was so it pulled at different strings inside the heart, and that was powerful. That was amazing. I love the visual, the imagery that was laced up inside that poem. You guys are amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm not going. So, oh my God, let's hear for Amira. You guys did some wonderful pieces. All right. Okay, come on. We're going to bring back another performance from our brother, Uninvited Maine.
Right.
You know, I am, yeah, you, Go on, do your thing.
All right, so I wanted to actually do, because we're talking about writing while Black and then just poetry and poetry devices. I actually wanted to do my favorite poetry device, haiku. All right. So as my auntie knows, when I perform the haikus in person, because a lot of people don't know what haikus are, I'd say the title and then I say the haiku.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Crayola. Bloods and Crips, guns and clips. Crayola continues to kill our kids. Terror. Islam ain't terror. If you want to see it, Trump, look in your mirror. Toy soldiers. I ride or die. Forget revolution, suicide. Black History Month, 28-day reign for 500 years of pain, racist calendars, child support. I believe it takes more than child support to give a child support. Shaitan, having faith in you is having faith to lose. That's why I choose Allah. Deadbeat body snatchers. Some of us sons are fathers to fathers who did not father their sons. Government love. TRA, WIC, welfare, Section 8, child support, replace Black husbands. Reverse racism. Niggers are all those who created it, not those who abated it. Trayvon, 18 years of life is a dream. to Black boys caught in hoodies and jeans. So that's some of my haikus. Those are also going to go in the book as well. And I also want to make a separate haiku book, just full of haikus. But a lot of those, the ones that I said, are going to be in certain sections of my first poetry book. Very excited because I've always been in the studio for 20 plus years, but I've never had anything published.
It's your time.
I think you're muted, sis.
You have audio published. You know, we have podcasts, we have digital, what you call it? Yeah, Kindle books, audio books, all kinds of things. You definitely need to do an audio book, yes. You know, and do it in your own voice. So don't be paying nobody to do your work. Yes. So that is fire. Thank you. Powerful. And I love it. And the power in such a little, you can say a lot and just go pow, you know, and then the way you did a list like that, it was just like pop, 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 pop. Deep, powerful, man. So I think I would like to let Nadera go again. Nadera?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do another piece, Make Dollars Make Sense.
Okay.
Okay.
You can't make all your money, then spend it all and be wealthy. Word on the street is Black wealth will drop to 0 by 2053. A wealth empire isn't built in a day, but there's power in your pocket. You can build it every day. We must free ourselves from material slavery. Best way for us to reach our Black wealth pinnacle is through financial literacy. Spend less, earn more, invest wisely. Education is our passport to the future. Malcolm gave speeches that still apply. When we gonna talk about reparations? Well, at least let's unify our dollars. And dear Black folks, please don't haphazardly sell grandma's house. Am I making you uncomfortable? I don't just want your attendance. I need your attention. No assets have to be worth more than your liabilities. How come we have 4% of the nation's wealth, but we're 13% of the population? Black wealth 0 by 2053? I'm appalled. We can all sit around and claim to be woke, but that doesn't mean we all have to be broke. Pick one wealth building habit to develop today to get started on your financial freedom journey. Spend at least 30 minutes a day reading. Track your spending. If there's a time and place to resist and protest, there's definitely a time and place to intelligently invest. Also, how we build when we utilize our funds. Let's empower ourselves. As long as you're working for your money, instead of your money working for you, you'll forever be an economic slave. Wealthy people have not sat around waiting for promotions and a raise. Or how about this? Invest in real estate. Rent to 2 different tenants and pay off the loan in half the time. We've got to do more than just go through these financial storms and not die. Black wealth 0 by 2053? No. So we're not going to do it all the same, but just find a mortgage or service or product and know that revenue minus expenses will give you a profit. Peep this. It's not about what you got. It's about what you keep. We've got too many people playing the lottery thinking the stock market is too risky. What is it that makes us poor? Is it lack of money or maybe more? Dollars circulate in other communities a minimum of 17 days. A dollar stays in the Black community less than a day's work, only 6 hours. Beware of the man who offers you a fish instead of a fishing rod. We keep sending our dollars to outside places instead of allowing our dimes and dollars to improve our own living spaces. Black dollars have value: real estate, mutual funds, entrepreneurship, and stocks. Habari Ghani, what's the news? Ujama, cooperative economics. So if you invest $0 in wealth development, expect an equivalent result. Know the path gets clearer every step towards entrepreneurship. I'm not getting into all the details because there's those who can do much better. I'm putting out a call for the brilliantly educated brothers and sisters to bring out the plans I know you already have. Help us move that Black power fist to where our bank accounts live. You can find glory in the power of the green when you've been told it doesn't come in your shade. Your resiliency is something they can't take away. Financial empowerment is the epitome of Black girl magic and Black power all grown up. Let's create generational wealth and pass on a legacy of knowledge and financial freedom instead of a temporary hookup. Thank you.
Let's go. That was powerful.
Makes sense.
All of that. All of that. That's a class. That's a workshop, sis. That whole poem. Just break it down. Let's get it. Let's put it on the road.
Let's do it. 2053?
Wow.
Is her mic muted?
Yes, muted.
Nadera, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was hot. That was fire. So thank you for that piece. You should see all the love going up there. All right, now let's keep it going.
Right now.
Amira, come on, roll it out.
Okay, we're doing another round here. So I'm gonna go to Black History Month. Y'all coming with me? So yeah, this is a pretty new piece. I'm kind of wearing it out though, but I kind of like it. So while I'm liking it, I'm gonna still perform it. This one is this ain't no I Have a Dream poem. This one was written on January 15th, with a little concern for our children only knowing about Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Barack Obama, Oprah,
the Fabulous Five. No, I'm sorry.
And now Kamala. So bear with me. This is a chronological poem about my own life. Here we go. This ain't no I Have a Dream poem. Dear Reverend King, happy birthday, Reverend King. But this right here, this ain't no I Have a Dream poem, because dreams deferred are like tsunamis when unleashed, quaking and rushing through, leaving no time to think. Why? What you say? Not today. I stood with my hand crossed, folding and holding my heart, pledging my allegiance to a flag that never alleged anything to me. But this right here ain't no I Have a Dream poem. Singing We Shall Overcome never appealed to me. Get it? Like I was 10. Hand over heart, words splat, lift every voice and sing. Knowing all along, I was born by the river in a little tent. And oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since. Mama and them cried and sang the blues, watching views of Kennedy and Cook and Malcolm and Herbert Lee and Medgar Evers and James Cheney and Viola Lusa and Fred Hampton and the unknown Robert Spike and Walrus Jackson and Emmett Till in an open casket. Boxes like pine was our favorite wood. Black memoirs of timeless times and histories non-spoken in his story or her story. But it's our story. But this right here ain't no I Have a Dream poem. Cause see, I was 4. I was 4 when King peacefully forged for freedom and jobs and freedom and life and little white kids and little black kids having futures of hands linked and bonds of human existences. But this right here, ain't this something? Ain't it something when they wasn't talking about me and free and free? Cause I have a dream that one day, this ain't no I have a dream poem. Cause see, I was 6 when someone yelled, "Get your hand out my pocket." And shots fired like rockets, popping dreams and spirits and lives into futures of dead places. So they thought, no justice, no peace. They left his family crying in the street. I am a man, banners. I am a man, banners flew free, tattered and shredded into dreams over decades of more. We shall overcome. But when? Cause this right here ain't no I have a dream poem. Cause I was 9. I was 9 when the fingers pointed to the skies, or maybe it was north to the North Star. Sweet Lorraine was a motel. Shots fired, dreams painted on faces, moved to fingertips, and someone yelled, "I won't get to the mountaintop with you. I won't." Before dropping and all took a knee in tears and pain of rains of more. I have a dream, but it's gonna be deferred. Yeah, don't you know? I was 2 when we went on that freedom ride. I was 5 when my rights became legal. Bloody Sunday was my 6-year-old birthday memory. Ode to Selma, burn, Mississippi, burn. That was my freedom song. I was 8 when a man became the greatest. Ali, Ali, Ali. I was 9 when you told me I was allowed to live free. Lee, any house, anywhere, just not over there. And I was 9 when the Chicago 7 walked the line, 11 when the first black mayor of my city went to work, and 13, run, Shirley, run, pass the baton to Jesse when you're done. I was 25 and 29, and it's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gonna come, because I was 49. I was 49 when it was time for a black man to lead the country. Tell me, have we overcome? And you know the rest. I guess I'm just too ready. I guess a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Cause this right here, it ain't no I have a dream poem. Brooks, Floyd, Taylor, Sterling, Gray, Garner, Rice, Amadou, just to name a few. They all had dreams too. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter to me. Now watch your feet. Watch out for those letters in the street. This ain't no I have a dream poem. Wake up, wake up. Dreams live where you sleep. Dreams live where you sleep. And it's been a long time coming, but now I think I'm able to carry on, because change gonna come. So yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. King. In the key of Stevie, I wonder.
Ooh, that was
so beautiful.
Brilliant. That was brilliant. And I love the chronological order, the connection from you, your age, what was happening.
Thank you. Thank you guys for appreciating it. Thank you.
That was fire. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're gonna keep it moving. Thank you for that. Come on, Miss. Let's go, Juwayriyah.
My brother. There was a brother who caught my eyes. No words were spoken, but I realized I was also his focus. He came over and sat down and said he was tired. Said if he had more energy, he'd give me the whole world one day at a time. Said he already knew I wasn't going to be able to ride by his side. Said brothers done made a hard bed, and sisters, Lord, sisters, they complain more than they sleep these days, he said. Said our wounds were too deep, too far-fetched, and endured too much disrespect and too much neglect for us to expect the two of us alone to build over the Pterodon, formerly known as Black love. And he wasn't no prince, he said. Said he never bought any rings, but he already had 2 babies to feed. One sister, his mama, and an auntie, all depending on the labor that he did with his mind, hands, and feet. The pressure, he said, was real and oh so deep. Said most days he felt his name being called back to the street, and he admitted he was tempted to answer the call many times if only the poison didn't poison and the bullets didn't fly, and black hustlers could become black kings and build castles, and finally could afford the price for all black women to be envied and idolized. Though he said he recognized those were the dancing images from his dream intoxicated subconscious during the last third of the darkness as his soul laid in the clinches of the creator. He said, as the sun rose from the east and the sobriety diffused through his body, and as he inhaled the morning, the daylight brought his subconscious into his chest like a cold. And as he inhaled the morning, it left him feeling ill. He knew who he was, he said. The honor, the pride, the perseverance, the faith, the loyalty. Those were the enzymes that made his blood clot. But in a society where street thugs could become rappers and rappers could become CEOs, in a society where spinning rims and gold plates mattered, in a society where athletes were the heroes and teachers like he had to struggle with 2 degrees just to pay off their degrees. He said, I felt like I'm treading through shallow seas. He said he felt like he was treading through shallow seas. He said, how does a man be a real man when real men are treated like they are infected, segregated, and disdained? My sister, he said, are women this vain? So after I listened, I said, this is your burden to bear. The pain is heavy and it has rendered many men weak, but there are blessings and poverty for those who dare to still count their bounties. I said, let me tell you again, there are blessings and poverty for those who dare to still count their bounties. Never have a people been left distressed without aid to soften each and every single one of their steps. If you love good for yourself, then you must love good for all. And if you work to be a good man, then you must work to help us to be good women.
You got me acting silly over here. That was so powerful, brilliant, everything. Like, honey, Miss Juwayriyah, you know, you are just an amazing, dope, talented, educated poet. You just every kind of everything. I love you. Oh my gosh, that you guys are killing it. And I'm just gonna.
It's your turn.
Put it out there to say, nah, I'm gonna roll on out that that brother Maine do a piece, or he did. Would you like to do a haiku or 2?
I'm going to do this piece.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Can you see me? No, excuse me.
I have some feedback. I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, something's going on. Hold on 1 second. Give me a second. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
See me now?
Yes.
Everyone was wonderful. Read your poem, Nzima. Okay, something's going on. Hold on 1 second. Give me a second. Can you hear me now?
All right, you're muted again.
Turn your mic on, Nzima.
I have a couple poems. I had a few poems going through my head that I wanted to share. And so I decided, I'm just going to share. This is a small little poem that I thought was a little bit more whimsical and culturally showcasing for us being Black, Indigenous, born American Muslims. And it's in our book. So it is published in the NBA Muslim, Black Muslim Reads Anthology. And of course, I had some other, y'all had me think about Black Amours, y'all had me think of rah, 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 but y'all did that. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep it light and cute, I think. It's more of a narrative. It is called Modest Spills. Farah, Shakira, Khadijah, and Aziza spill out their beauty. First, Maghrib, the fourth prayer of the day, greeted them. After the completion of their prayer, they said Assalamu alaikum to each other. I uttered, peace be upon you. See, I knew the lingo. Next came the sweet tea, sweet potato pie, and bean pies. Their clothes, fly, colorful, and ultra feminine. Grace, unbelievably genuine. The flow and glow were divinely incredible. The interchange urban slang with Arabic, their face all framed uniquely with wraps and hijabs. Light and royalty dripped off of them, like a scene and coming from America or Wakanda. I even felt the urge to cross my arms over my breasts. My lips spilled the words forever. My heart was without rest, moving and flipping and flipping and wondering and questioning, how do I get in? How do I become a Muslim? So that was a piece in the NBA Black Muslim Reads anthology. And this is not just a book of poetry. We have creative fiction, romance, mystery, a bunch of more. It's a real thick book. Look, folks, it's on Amazon. You can get it. So I wanted to, share that piece. And yes, Layla, so I did a piece. I didn't do the Every Kind of Lady and all the other pieces that folks probably expected, but that one right there, I think it intermingled the Black Muslim, the bean pies, the sweet potato pie. I think Sister Amira had like a poll the other day about who like what the other day on pies and food, but won't we do it? Won't we mix our vernacular, our verbiage, or whatever with Arabic and slang and put our own twang on it? And so I just wanted to showcase that. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap up with, and that is close to our time. So, but we heard a lot of things from you. Quickly, you guys, I need you all to be sharing and dropping titles. We got Breathing Through Concrete on Amazon from Amira. Juwayriyah, she has plenty of published work, and Heinz Hands was Tried and Tested. And Miss Nadera over here, she got Bloom. You can get it on Amazon, and it's a self-help book. Okay, yes. Oh, Every Kind of Lady and her sister's pages. Y'all better get it, y'all better get it. That's an anthology that just came out. I'm excited. It made a bestseller. I didn't know until Layla told me. And my man over here, thank you. You have brought some fire, and we're gonna be looking out for you. Your YouTube's Uninvited Maine. Share the links, because I'm sure people are going to be looking for that. And we're going to have you back and doing some other things. So I appreciate you all for spending time with us. And Layla Abdullah Polos, she's over here, and she holding it down. My sister, romance novelist.
I think that everyone was incredible tonight. I have to be a little bit, come down a little bit on about the not writing a book thing. Okay. I know how important it is for us to put our words to pages. I mean, when you think about as far back as Phyllis Wheatley, and I know some of her poetry was problematic, but when you think far back as Phyllis Wheatley, an enslaved person, and the power that her written words had on the society, to the point where they put her on trial because they could not believe that someone like her can write it. Authorship means access. Okay, so if you want your words in schools, if you want people to avail of themselves of in higher education, you need to author it. You need to have a book so that there can be Muslim Langston Hughes, so that there can be a course on Muslim poetry, American Muslim poetry, Black American Muslim poetry. The only reason why there aren't courses like this is because mainly and primarily not enough poets are putting their stuff to pen and paper, and that's extremely important. We live in a time and a society right now where it's really easy to do. Authorship is something that has opened up far and wide, and the playing field has been level as far as getting one's work out there. So please consider that and consider the importance of it. I'm not a poet, so the only thing I can't see the value is in the written word. Sorry, literature is my background, so that's all.
Yeah, so that's why I'm so excited that our brother over here is coming out with his book in April.
Exactly.
And all of these
it is
folks
very,
over
very
here is
important.
authored and published.
Yeah. Now, everyone's book, I put links to everyone's books. Every Kind of Lady, Juwayriyah is Tried and Tested, which is one of my favorite books. I got it right back there on my Black Muslim authors that are out there. And Bloom and Breathing Through Concrete. We need some ebooks though. I'm just saying. I'm just saying we need some ebooks. You guys are not, y'all have enough ebooks. We need some ebooks, okay? So it's all there. Also, I put the link to Uninvited Maine's YouTube page, so everyone has access to all great stuff, including Black Muslim Reads. Two of these fabulous poets, Juwayriyah and Nzima Hutchings, have contributed to our first anthology. We're working on a second anthology, as well as an anthology of poetry, Black Muslim poets. So that's going to be a great thing. I can't wait for that one. And so we're going to be putting out a call. When are we starting to put out the call?
March.
For the Black Muslim poets?
March.
The deadline is March. I think we're putting out the call tomorrow. Or did we do it tonight? I don't know. We may have done it tonight.
I think we could post that flyer right now and get it popping. Yeah, I'm itchy scratchy.
Poets. We need more poets. We need more poets. And so, because it is very, very important. I mean, I've worked in higher education for years and in literary studies. And that's one of the main things is that instructors are looking for these books to share and to have courses on. I mean, it is a very dynamic thing and it's a very dynamic opportunity. So that's the reason why we do it at NBA Muslims in cooperation with Muslim Girl Reads. It's extremely important. So let's get our stuff out there. So
and push those educators, because I heard ever since Amanda Gorman came out, they was like, oh, headlines everywhere that they should push poetry, bring it back, help folks,
No, absolutely. I mean, when you think about general education, poetry is a very, very important part of memorization. Okay. And I don't want to memorize the Odyssey. I want my kids memorizing the Odyssey. Okay. I just don't. I want them memorizing Modesty Spills. That's what I want them memorizing. And so we need more and more and more of those works, and especially for our young Muslims, because poetry is such a powerful way of expression. It always has been for millennia. And so to see ourselves, it really encourages young Muslims to do it themselves. And especially when you have wonderful poets that like, speak your word, speak it with your chest, use your language. Let's do this now. That becomes very, very important thing. So let's do this. Let's keep this done, keep this going. Thank you everyone for your wonderful poetry.
Beautiful.
I mean, I just, like I said before, sometimes you just gotta take a breath. Y'all just had me back here taking breaths. So I was just like, whoo, okay. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us for another amazing panel of Black Muslim authors. Remember to check out About Islam at www.aboutislam.net. We have some excellent stuff going on. We're also here on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget about that. Visit our BMA Con webpage so you get more information about these authors, about fabulous giveaways, which we are going to be posting a new one up tonight, and that is the intimacy book giveaway, where you can enter to win a chance of a copy of A Taste of Honey, Islamic Aritology book by Habiba Kande, Kunyaza, okay, Female Sensuality book by Habiba Kande, and one of my Muslim romances, Open to Love, okay, as well as a $10 Amazon gift card. So we're going to be putting that up too, but you can't enter unless you visit that conference page. Do not forget to, it's right up there. Click that link and register for updates so you'll know when we have the next fabulous panel. Thank you to our sponsor, About Islam, and all our wonderful sponsors, Muslim Anti-Racism Collaborative, Hot Hijab, Muslim Girl Reads, NBA Muslims, Every Kind of Lady, Heart Women and Girl, Daybreak Press, and African American Muslim Alliance of Tampa, and the Muslim Connection. They were really, really great in helping us get this all together. Remember to like and share this. Share.
And we'll see you on Sunday.
Stay in one place. I'm sorry.
And we'll see you again Sunday.
Oh yeah, we'll see you on Sunday. That is our romance authors panel. Okay, so bring water, stretch before you get on. Okay, and bring water in a fabulous Black on Both Sides mug. Visit our Teespring store. We got mugs, we have t-shirts, we have pouches, we have all kinds of stuff. People are snatching them up, by the way. And so visit and check us out on Sunday, 11:30 a.m.
Black on Both Sides, y'all.
I'm telling you, everyone loves that t-shirt. Whenever they see that t-shirt, everyone loves that t-shirt. So the romance panel, our authors are myself, Nashi Jackson, the fabulous author of the book Her Justice. Sarah Allen, a wonderful Black British romance author, and Sana Wright. So we're going to be talking about romance, about content, how hot do you make it, okay, and everything like that. So don't forget to join us 7 at 11:30 a.m. And you won't forget if you register for updates, so don't forget to do that as well. And be on the lookout for the next great panel. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you all. Thank you.